need to know that God is sovereign. That is one of the greatest attributes of God, especially in the waiting season, because his ways and thoughts are not like ours. They're way higher and bigger. Even when you think that, well, this is the best that I've seen, but God has greater things in store for us. Plans are perfect for us. So once you know that God is sovereign and he does things in his own timing, in his own way, you will have peace. Throughout the journey of all the people of faith, all the heroes of faith, we've seen God's hand, and when it was God's timing, it was not just the answer, the prayer, the blessings that came, but it was the glory of God being manifested that everyone saw. And from generation to generation, the history or the story of that blessing is being told, and people now have faith because of this story. And that means that your story as well will allow people to have faith and to keep on going for what God has in store for them. And also that the end goal, like I said before, is not the blessing, it's not the promise, it is your heart for him. Like, has your heart changed? Because you can have all the blessings and everything, and you still have a heart that is not positioned in him. That's the purpose of waiting, of trusting God's timing. It's not about the blessings and the promises. It's about you showing your reverence to him, showing your faithfulness to him, and knowing that he's your only God and nothing can take his place in your heart. Trusting in God's timing is not an easy thing to do, especially when you feel like God is not speaking to you, he's not responding, you don't feel any wind or anything happening around you, although you see the signs and everything, but nothing is happening. And you pray to the Lord and everything, and you're just not hearing anything. You feel like God is just went mute on you. That doesn't mean that God doesn't care, that he's not at work, that he left you abandoned. I'll give you two examples. One is for Joseph, the Old Testament. When he was in prison, there's no Bible verse that shows that God showed up in prison and gave him comfort and reassured him that, hey, your blessing is coming soon. No, he came out of a sudden, after some years, probably it says 2 years, right? After 2 years, then, it had to take something great that was not about him, but the glory of God to be seen and manifested to the people, to his enemies, and those who did not know God, so that God would take the glory. And it showed that it was not just about the promise, it was about the heart of Joseph, so that he would not allow bitterness to stay in his heart. It was about the faithfulness of Joseph to God, and that whatever the enemy meant for evil to happen to Joseph, God meant it for good and for a good purpose. And the second example will be Mary and Martha. When they announced to Jesus Lazarus was sick, Jesus was kind of silent, and waited until he died, and then Jesus showed up. It was not, they thought it was too late because they only knew a little part of who Jesus is. But Jesus wanted to show them that he's not just a healer or redeemer or provider, but he's also the resurrected king. He resurrected Lazarus, and not only in front of those who believed him, but even in front of those who did not believe him, so that God would take the glory. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about the beautiful promises, it's not about a status, it's all about God's glory and the position of our heart. So I would encourage you to understand, to trust in the Lord with all your heart and submit yourself to him as well. And his ways are not your ways, his thoughts are not your thoughts. And one day can be 1,000 days, 1,000 days can be one day. So that means the promises of the Lord will come all of a sudden. God does things beautiful in His time. He does everything beautiful in His time. All you have to do is just trust Him with all your heart and praise Him. Wear your garment of praise, praise Him with all your heart and in anticipation, and serve Him. What does a waiter do when they're in a restaurant? What they do is they don't just sit there or stand. They work, they serve until they get the reward. That's the same thing for us. When you stay still, you're not doing anything. Time will take so long. But when you're working and everything, you're busy, you're not worried about anything. God doesn't want you to worry about the future, because He wants you to see the beauty of the waiting season. There's something beautiful in the waiting season, more than the promised thing. Waiting season is so beautiful. You get to know God. You get to know everything about yourself. You get to be transformed. You get to see the Red Sea separated. You get to see the miracle. You get to see the walls of Jericho falling before you. You get to see the hand of God. You get to see who God is in His totality in that time as well. God wants you to be positioned in Him. So this is our final series of the waiting season in the wilderness. So I hope you have been blessed, and I pray that God will keep your mind at peace in Him. We give you discernment and strength to keep on going. And I hope this season has blessed you. This series has blessed you. So please like, comment, or subscribe, and share to those who are going through the same thing and need to hear the voice of God. God bless you. Bye-bye.